My 6-hour service popped up, so what we're doing is using tether to grease all the heads, and we got a onboard storage of grease there behind the cab. And what it does is got grease lines running into the head up top, and then all of these bars right here get filled up with grease, and all of our gears up in there get all of them get covered in grease. We got to do this every 6 fan hours or operating hours. So we'll just keep on greasing them until we see grease starting to squirt out the top there around the gears at the top of the bars. I know it's getting kind of dim in there. Let me slow it down for you a little bit. Maybe you see the grease coming out the top of the bars there. We're almost there. Once we see all the bars greased, then we're good to go. You see grease coming out there around the top of the necks. Alright, so you should be good for another 6 hours now. And this reservoir up here behind my solution tank, I think it holds something like 80 gallons of grease, and we filled her all the way up before we got started. That'll probably run us 8, 9, 10 days maybe. Don't think it'll be enough to get us done. But yeah, no doubt about it, this thing uses a whole bunch of grease. Alright, now that we pumped our heads full of grease, we can't just take off going full speed because those heads spin so fast. We got to slowly increase the speed, make sure we get the grease worked in real good and get the grease warmed up. Otherwise, all that cold grease trying to turn in the gears and the bars and everything will put too big of a load there on our hydraulic motor. So take us a couple minutes just to slowly bring our heads up to speed, and we'll be ready to go again. I'm doing my best to keep up with Andy, but he's slowly pulling away from me. He's on the stall cutter. He got pretty much caught up on the litter spread, and Carter had to go work the zombie trails tonight. So just me, Kelly, and Andy out here. Kelly ain't having no problem keeping caught up on modules. I mean, cotton ain't bad, but it's definitely not what I thought it was going to be. There's a lot of kind of short, knotty cotton, just like right here in this area. Now there's some dang good spots here. We're just really seeing the effects of the drought here on this farm. If we just got one more rain, I believe we'd really blow the top off this crop. But once you get up on these hills, thin soil, I mean, it's not a bad yield at all, don't get me wrong. But when we pull off in a little flat kind of in between hills, or if we get in the bottom, I mean, we're 1,500 pounds easy. Just where it had access to just a little bit more soil moisture, a little bit more water holding capacity, seeing a whole lot better yields. And if we just got just like one more rain, just like another ½ inch of rain or 1 inch of rain on these hills, I mean, it'd probably be like that across the board. We got the bowls out there. It's just that bowl size is pretty small. Just wasn't able to fill them all the way out. And then, of course, like I said earlier, 2 hurricanes really took the top end off of what was already open. It lost some weight. Don't know about quality though. We won't find that out until we get it ginned and get the and get the reports back on every bale on, you know, what kind of quality we got. I've been hearing that folks that already picked, you know, they're seeing about a 1 to 2 cent per pound premium, whereas last year we were seeing like 4 and 5 cent per pound premiums. You know, a premium's going to be better than a base grade, but you know, every penny per pound adds up on this cotton crop. I don't know, we'll see here, you know, whenever we get our first gin reports back, which I don't know how far behind the gin is on getting cotton picked up and gin. I know a lot of cotton has been picked in the last week and a half since it dried up, and right now we're, you know, just getting started picking, so I imagine there's a pretty good backlog there at the gin on getting modules picked up, and then of course run through the gin. Now our gin, in case you're wondering, our gin runs 24 hours a day. It's got 3 gin stands. I think on an average day they can gin about 600 bales or so in an average day, which at 2 bales an acre, you know, they can gin about 300 acres worth of cotton. Well, you got 3 cotton producers with just one of these module pickers each. You know, just 3 cotton producers can pick enough cotton in one day to keep that gin running one day. So, you know, there's a lot more than 3 cotton producers out here with module pickers. You know, some of the producers have got 2 module pickers, 3 module pickers. I think there's even one that's got 4 module pickers in the area. So you can just you can imagine, you know, how far behind the gin can get real quick. You know, when you got a long you know, dry spell where the pickers are able to run every single day, and especially, you know, you got good cotton, you know, it don't take long at all for the cotton gin to get behind. But you know, that's a good thing about these pickers right here. You know, they wrap the module completely all the way around with plastic. There's a lip that comes up the side, so doesn't matter. I mean, the cotton can ultimately, it can sit in the field indefinitely and be protected without any problem. All right, it's a little after 8. It's starting to get pretty damp outside. Day's definitely gotten shorter, so we still got a little bit of fuel left in the service truck, and as much fuel as this thing drinks, we don't ever take the service truck home with a little bit of fuel left in there. Now we're quickly going to get to the time where we got to start making 2 trips back to the shop, get enough fuel. My fuel tank holds about 150 gallons on the truck. This picker will drink a lot more than 150 in a full running day. Plus we got that tractor, got the litter spreader, got the bush hog tractor, and the loader tractor, all using fuel. So yes, I know I need a fuel trailer or a bigger service truck with a bigger tank on it. Yes, I know I need all that. Eventually I will have all that, but things cost money, and money is in short supply this year. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get all these heads cleaned out tonight. These moisture pads be mighty cold in the morning with lows around 35 degrees. So go ahead and get this done tonight, get a head start on getting everything ready to go tomorrow. And hopefully we'll have a full day tomorrow. We had a pretty good afternoon today. Once we got all the bugs worked out of all of our equipment, our picker was running fabulously all day today, with the exception of that one accumulator choke up. So now I think we got all of our equipment dialed in, and hopefully we'll get a bunch of acres covered tomorrow. But we still got a lot of cotton to pick. So anyway, we'll see you back here in the morning. Last night when we was cleaning doors out, I found this in the suction door. Apparently I didn't tighten all 3,350 spindles I checked earlier or late this summer. So anyway, got to looking, and that's where it come from. But hey, we also got another blank hole here, and I didn't find a second spindle. And we also got one that's loose. That second spindle, I mean, there's a chance it could have got slung out and went through the holes in the head and landed on the ground. there's a small chance, even as heavy as this thing is, that it got sucked up into the basket and is in one of these modules of cotton, which could be devastating to the gin. If it goes through the gin and all those saws, you're talking about sparking a fire, tearing up equipment, everything else. So I called my ginner, and he says they got measures in place to catch big stuff like this. They got some magnets, and they got, he said there's like 3 different places that something this big and heavy can either drop out or a magnet can catch it. So I feel a little better. But anyway, I'll warn them about them. So when you deal with that many spindles, I guess sometimes some of them just slip by. All right, we're finally running. Another late start this morning. Or I had to run back to shop, get some new spindle assemblies. My precision ditching guy called me when I was in the middle of servicing the picker, wanted to make me over the field. He was going to be ditching, so I had to run all the way back to Crockett County for that. And then, as good looking as this cotton is, kind of the you know, early-ish morning light, like I'm gonna put the drone up, get some new shots. So anyway, I started picking, get some good shots, and I looked at my accumulator like, oh crap, I need to run this thing on manual. What do you think happened? Choked the accumulator up because I forgot to run it on manual. You know, that first round bell. My mistake again, costing me more time, so I had to unplug that. Tell you what, it seems like my self-inflicted wounds this year have been more numerous than normal. And then the electrical system on this thing right here is about to drive me bonkers. It warns me over every little thing. Like right now, it keeps on warning me that my right rear tail light, there's a problem with the wiring. I can give 2 craps about my right rear tail light. I don't need a warning popping up every time I go to slow down and it throws on the brakes, but that's what it does. I wish there was some way you could like set a way to ignore a certain alarm. You know, the ones that are not critical to the operation of the picker. You hear me, John Deere? That'd be a dang good idea. Well, I sure hope this cotton picks up on the next farm. I mean, this just ain't cutting it right here. It's yielding probably right around 2 bales an acre, maybe a shade under. I was not expecting that at all. That's mighty disappointing. I know the next couple of fields that we're going to pick, the cotton wasn't quite as mature whenever we defoliated it, so hopefully we didn't get quite the rain/hurricane damage on it as we did on this farm. So hey, this is the kind of crap I'm talking about right here. Ain't no need for that. And also I want to show you something else. Look at this cotton right here. You know, it don't look bad, but then just look just a few feet in front of it where it kind of goes through a low spot. See how much more white it is? A lot more fluffier, a lot better looking cotton. Then we go from picking, 700-800 pound cotton to 1,000-1,100 pound cotton. Then it goes back then again, and then right up here, see how much whiter it is? That's the effects of the drought. Just one more good rain would have made all the difference on some of this.
So we are on day 3. Matt had to unchoke the picker again. The boys helped out, and my dad is out here today on the bush hog so that Carter can help Andy load chicken litter, so we can pretty much stay on top of everything. I also want to show you something pretty amazing, because I've been complaining over and over again that these tractors, the cup holders just don't do you any justice whatsoever. Nothing fits, especially these two. They're absolutely useless. But I found someone who custom makes holders for everything. And I mean, it's freaking awesome. Check this out. How awesome is this? So, Scott from FarmSipSupreme.com. He is in New Jersey. He has a small business that makes these, and I asked for one that would fit a 40-ounce water bottle. And I mean, this thing is so durable. I've already hit 2 armadillo holes and nothing has moved. So now there's a pen holder back here. I've got for my gin mark, my tags, hair ties, whatever. Best part is phone holder, so I can listen to music. It doesn't come off. We've been using these Amazon specials, and half the time they fall off or they break. This one's already broke. So, promoting a small business. He's also a farmer, so y'all go get you one, seriously. He has a wonderful website. It's farmsipsupreme.com. Go get you one. Custom make them for all older tractors, new tractors, combines, cotton pickers, whatever. Go support a small business because this is absolutely awesome. I'm blown away. And also too, there's another one where you can like, I haven't put the screw in there yet, but you can tilt it, you know. He hasn't figured out how to make one that you can watch movies on yet, but hopefully maybe he'll get that done. Inventive. I mean, this just blows my mind. I love it. This helps me out so much because I've been keeping this just like down here. So this is actually way better.
All right, this little field right here up to this terrace plus part of this field, kind of a line going at an angle over that way, that whole corner over there. There's another part of this farm that I ripped last fall, and it was perhaps the worst 2 spots on the farm. And now looking at this cotton, I think the ripping really made a pretty big difference right here for sure. I mean, I've never grown cotton that looked this good on this field and in this spot over there. It's always been kind of real short and stunted, and I mean, it's looking good. And according to the yield monitor, it's probably a good 300 pounds an acre better than what I was picking in the other couple fields on this farm. So it looks like a ripper is kind of going to tell the tale of, you know, where you had problems, you know, where you really don't have problems but you run it anyway. You know, looks like probably not going to see a whole lot of benefit out of it, but where you do have the problems, you know, genuinely have problems, it looks like it can make a pretty dang big difference. So, yeah, we ripped a whole bunch this year, so it's going to be interesting over the next several years, these places that I ripped, you know, looking at the historically bad spots of the field and seeing what kind of improvement we have from the ripping. You know, based upon what we're doing, soil health and everything, I don't necessarily think we're going to see big improvements over, you know, entire farms, because in some areas, you know, it's just really not needed, even though we're running the ripper over it. But it's going to be interesting to see how many bad spots in the field we can significantly improve by running the ripper, and then, you know, that'll kind of guide us going forward on running the thing, you know. Instead of, you know, running it over an entire farm like I've done this fall, you know, maybe just be selective about it and only, you know, be able to identify the places where it's really needed, and, you know, save all that expense on fuel and everything. Have you been watching our channel for a while now? You know that time to time I'll recommend another YouTube channel for you to watch, you know, if I find, you know, content on there that I find interesting. And, you know, I really like a lot of the smaller channels, you know, not necessarily mainstream, because I think some of those channels can put out some pretty good unique content. And, well, I found another one here in the past couple weeks y'all might be interested in, especially if you enjoy our cotton videos, our cotton harvest videos. But anyway, you might want to check out a channel called Wild West Farmer, and it's a guy named Casey. He farms, I think, over there around Lubbock, Texas. Anyway, they grow a lot of cotton over there too, along with milo and maybe some wheat or something. Anyway, I haven't been following them that long, but I mean, just a completely different environment than what we grow cotton in, you know, very arid, limited resources and whatever. And instead of using a cotton picker to pick their cotton, they use what's called a cotton stripper. And he put out a video a couple weeks ago on how a cotton stripper works, which I always wondered. I've never laid my eyes on an actual cotton stripper up close, and I always wondered how the heads work. I knew the principle behind a cotton stripper. You know, it pretty much it strips everything off the entire plant. You know, all of your cotton plus unopened bolls, hulls, all that kind of stuff. And anyway, right now they're in the middle of cotton harvest and got quite a few videos with cotton strippers running, plus that video on showing how a cotton stripper actually works. So if you're interested in cotton harvesting, you know, something a little different than what we do, I recommend you check out his channel. He puts out some pretty good videos there. I don't think he's been doing it very long.
Man, we have an actual production out here. We've got Carter and Andy loading chicken litter. Matt over here on the picker.
All kinds of maggots over here.
Ew. Myself on the baler picker upper, and that is my dad on the bush hog. We look like a full-fledged operation out here. Of course, we have the 16-year-old loading the chicken litter, because why wouldn't we? Fall break is awesome. I mean, he needs to make that money for that truck. So he's getting the dirty job. Little update on this fabulous holder. I have hit every armadillo hole and it has not moved. It's amazing. I mean, just, I can't say this enough. I'm gonna order one for all the equipment. He's gonna get one. We're gonna put one in that one. All of it. Just so, it's just organized. Love good organization.
I do know on this field, I've certainly never seen cotton look this good on the inrows. Now, it kind of looks like crap because, I mean, heck, it's been drove over and run over all year long from all the spraying we got to do. But there's some nice big fluffy bowls down there, a lot better than that kind of a knottier stuff I had been picking. So it just goes to show that this cotton over here had access to a little bit more moisture during the growing season than what the other field did. But yeah, ripping definitely helped some in this field. You know, a lot of y'all might not realize it, but I can't stress how difficult it can be to self-film yourself. I mean, not only are we having to do our job, like right now I'm running the cotton picker, there's countless things I've got to monitor, you know, staying on the road, everything else, but also I'm having to film myself, think about what I'm going to say, what point I'm trying to get across, and trying to do it as succinctly as possible. Also trying to, you know, minimize how much I stutter. You know, it's definitely not as easy as it looks. There's sometimes it can be incredibly difficult to put out a coherent clip that looks good, sounds good, and makes sense, all the while not screwing up what what my real job is. Well, we only like a few more acres on this farm. We'll be done, man. We're finishing off with a bang down here in this back bottom, man. Got some good cotton. But the inrow's mighty hard to pick, though. I'm right here where the sprayer track is. And cotton gets tall and rank, it's hard to see where the rose is, and a lot of it gets run over when you're spraying. When I cut these LED lights on before long, so I'd like to get done with this one. We got 5 acres on McClary home place right there in front of their houses where they don't want me to plant corn. I'd like to get that done and potentially get moved up to Hart Farm this evening, or if it's late enough, we'll just park on McClary's and move stuff in the morning. My preference is always to move stuff at night because a little less traffic to fight, especially heading up there into the city limits of Jackson. We got a very nice aroma of chicken poop here in the cab. Andy pretty much called up to us and spreading real close to where we're picking. Don't smell bad to me though, smell like money. We're having kind of a hard time getting that litter spreader dialed in this year though. I measured the density several times and came up with a wide range of like 34 pounds per cubic foot all the way up to like 50 pounds per cubic foot. So 50 pounds per cubic foot sounded pretty high. So we started off setting it at 35, and then we ran short on the first farm. And then for this farm, we bumped up to 39 pounds per cubic foot. It looks like we're going to run a little short, not as bad short as we did on the first one. So hopefully after this farm, we'll get her dialed in where she's putting out the right rate. As I stated in the past, there ain't nothing scientific about chicken litter. I got a freaking choke up here. Is, I don't know, a little stick or something can get caught up in here and block the flow of cotton from getting sucked up here in the door. And since my buzzer in my cab ain't working, I got to catch the warning on the screen, and when I'm paying attention to where I'm driving, sometimes I don't always catch it and it gets packed in here. If I'm not careful, I can burn some daubers up. See, those started getting hot right there. I thought hard about replacing this buzzer up in here this summer. Then I got to think about all the false alarms I get, like with a lighting system. And like, man, if I replace that buzzer, it's literally going to drive me bonkers all harvest long. So I decided not to replace it, but I don't know, I might have to replace it eventually. It's still showing it choked up. I guess it bent my cutoff back into the grounding sensor. I almost forgot to turn my accumulator back on automatic again, blowing out cotton everywhere. Luckily I caught it just in time. I hate picking inrows. Problem is with our fields, we got a lot of inroads because we got so many small cut up fields. Not as bad as it used to be back in the day. It's still bad enough. I may adjust my water pressure down. Dust starting to fall, dew starting to fall, so we don't need to run as much water. Run too much water, they'll just lead to more choke ups there. All right, I just got a notification for a wrap misfeed. Got about halfway through the process and it just never stopped. So this could be a worst case scenario. Well, that's the problem. I don't know how many portions we just lost, but...
Do you have a knife?
Man, he's got my knife.